Okay, now we're actually going to combine all the methods into one video. Methods for solving quadratic equations. It says directions, solve the equation below using each method. If a method cannot be used, let's explain why. First off, graphing. And to use our graphing, again, we always want to do the negative b over 2a first to find your vertex. Here's b and a is 1. Negative b would be negative 6 over 2 times 1 is 2. So negative 3. Let's do a, say, t-table, x, y. Put negative 3 in the middle. When you plug in negative 3, for your x's, you're going to get negative 4. So that's going to be your vertex. And here's what we're graphing. We're going to pick a couple of values on each side. We'll do maybe negative 2 and negative 1 on one side and negative 4 and negative 5 on the other. When we plug those x values in, let's plug in negative 2, and you get negative 3. And when we plug in negative 1, we get 0. And those same two values are going to be reciprocated on the other side. Now let's plot those points. Let's zoom in, put those points on our graph, connect our dots. So therefore, to actually find where is this equal to 0, that's going to be here. It's going to be here. So that's going to be the roots of your function. So the solution will be negative 1 and negative 5. Now let's solve the exact same exact same problem by using factoring. To solve a quadratic equation by factoring, we're going to take this trinomial, try to factor it, x and x. Adds, multiplies will be a positive 1 and a positive 5. Set each factor equal to 0, which I feel like this is probably hands down the best way to solve this one. Solve each and you get negative 1 and you get negative 5, the exact same two values. Okay, now let's solve it by taking square roots. Again, let's copy down our function. X squared plus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Now here's the thing. To solve by square roots, you can only solve it when your b term is 0. Then you would move the 5 over and square root it, so you cannot use the square root method on this. Let's do the complete in the square, which is probably another pretty good way of solving this one. And again, I like to use complete in the square when my a value is 1 and when my b value is even, is the best method. So let's move our first step, move your 5 over by doing negative 5. We're going to complete our square by taking half of this and squaring it. So I'm going to add 9, so add 9 to the other side. You now factor. It should be a perfect square, so x adds, multiplies will be a positive 3 and a positive 3. Negative 5 and 9 on the other side is a 4. You now have x plus 3. To get rid of a square, we're going to do plus and minus the square root of 4, which is 2. You can go ahead and mark this out and move it over, and that's going to be your two answers. Your first answer is going to be negative 3 plus 2, which is negative 1. Your next answer is negative 3 minus 2, which is negative 5. Quadratic formula. Again, let's copy it down. X squared plus 6x plus 5. Quadratic formula, I always do b squared minus 4ac first. B squared would be 36 minus 4 times 1 times 5 would be 20. That gives you 16. That's the stuff under the square root. That gives you 4. Your formula is x equals negative b plus and minus the square root stuff over 2 times a, which would give you 2. So therefore now there's everything plugged into your formula. So your two answers are going to be, let me come down below it, negative 6 plus 4, which is negative 2 divided by 2, and negative 6 minus 4, which is a negative 10 divided by 2, and that gives you those same negative 1 and negative 5 as an answer.